Welcome to the Fear Fiction Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man horde Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
So we're all in agreement, right? Jack Skellington is a race traitor.
Definitely. Wanting to leave Halloween Town and go to Christmasville or whatever the fuck? Is that what you're talking about?
Christmasville?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why can't you just be happy in your own town? With your own kind?
He's not a race traitor, he's an imperialist. He was going over to corrupt it.
Oh, interesting. Now, what would have happened? Why didn't they make any sequels where he goes to, like, St. Patricksville and Eastertopia and all those places?
Because that would require the director, what's-his-face, to work on another semi-original idea.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, so does that mean that he's a cultural appropriationist?
Yeah. Probably in, like, the most glaring example.
Yeah, directly appropriating other people's culture.
Taking their stuff, wearing their garb, bringing it over and being like, hey, this is new, and I invented it.
Now I'm just picturing, like, the first white person in Africa going through, like, a colony and looking at the huts and all the people going, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? There's bones in the hair. What's this? What's this? No, stop. Stop it.
Free labor everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
How controversial. A bunch of white people made slaves and then put them over the Atlantic. Yeah.
Oh, I like the idea of slave trader Jack Skellington.
Well, he's pretty white. He is extremely white. Race trading slave trader.
Race trader?
Jack Skellington. Race trading slave trader Jack Skellington. Available now at Toys R Us. Limited edition for Halloween.
Jack Skellington is an interesting fellow. So do we?
No.
No, we don't.
Maybe Oogie Boogie had the right idea.
He was the only arguably like minority in that whole film. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is just some milquetoast white person.
Yep.
He had a bit of funk to him, a bit of swagger.
Are those some dog whistle terms?
I don't know. We're trying. How far do you want to take this fucking joke against Nightmare on Before Christmas?
Nightmare on Christmas Street.
On Christmasville.
I want to say to all the people in Halloween Town, stand funky and stand swagger. What? Oh, man, but...
When Christmas Town comes, they're not sending their best.
God damn it. Oh, wait, is Trump in...
They're sending some fat guy.
Wait a minute, which land would Trump be from? Would Trump be from Halloween Town, or would he be from Christmas land?
Trump would be from... What's the greediest, most ostentatious?
New York.
Christmas.
Well, Christmas, no. He would be from Christmas.
So, yeah.
There are a bunch of ghouls. Their organs are falling out of them. It's terrible.
Yeah. All these presents that, there's nothing to worry about from where your presents are coming from. They could be coming from China. It doesn't matter. Maybe you're immune. Maybe you're immune to what's coming over. I don't know.
I saw what what their most beautiful woman was, and it's a disaster.
How do we feel about Sally? Would you bang Sally?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, neither would I. I don't think that's she seems underage.
She seemed underage. Seemed.
It took me a second, but
yeah, she's so unattractive.
I know people love that movie. I just basically have no connection to it. I think I first saw it and I was like too old to develop any nostalgia for it.
You saw it yesterday, yeah.
First time.
They would allow, when I was in first grade, they would allow us to bring in like movies to watch on like Fridays or whatever. And I brought in Nightmare Before Christmas, and they were just like, no, we're not going to watch this. I'm like, why? And they're like,
it makes fun of mayors. We can't have that.
Satan worship.
Oh, boy.
No,
And you were like, but Sister Mary Catherine, why do you have such conservative stance here at that I don't know, Saint
Our Lady
Bartholomew's
of Perpetual
Academy?
Sorrow.
Our Lady of the Abject Sorrow, you
Terror.
said?
Our Lady of Public School.
Our Lady of Abject Terror would be fantastic.
Yes.
Like there's a like a rose window in the chapel devoted to her, and she's just like, ah!
Sister Mary Scary, I think something weird is going on at the school.
Our Lady of Abject Terror. I need to use that in something.
That's good.
Sister Bloody Mary.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so Nightmare Before Christmas and its direct to VHS sequel, The Nightmare After Christmas, both interesting
The Nightmare
movies.
of 2020.
Nightmare of 2020. The Nightmare After Election Day. What's
We're not
this?
there
Start
yet.
the Great Furnace.
What's this? What's this? My daughter's tight ass. What's this?
Oh,
Anyway.
man, that little bathtub thing. The kids in the bathtub, it's great.
What?
What?
Oh, Lock, Shock, and Bartholomew. Yeah. Lock, Shock, and Bart Simpson in the bathtub.
Oh my god. I swear to God, if Elias takes that and puts that at the beginning of the episode out of context.
Oh, those little... Okay, DP. Okay. I think that running the Creepypasta channel has gotten to you. I think you need to take a break. What if that's the curse? What if
it's just a curse? What if
It just gets abandoned every 3 years.
That would be an interesting no-sleep title. I took over a Creepypasta narration channel, and now I can't talk about it. ...
No, thankfully everyone we're working with is of age. So, Pumpkin Patch.
Pumpkin Patch.
By Freaky Attractions. Shit.
I recognize that name.
This is like the third one, and we've actually we've turned down a few or just like postponed them because we keep reading stuff by Freaky Attractions. I think it's because they use titles that don't piss me off, and I'm like, oh, thank God, something sensible.
Yeah.
So good
One
on
of the
you.
other stories we read, I believe, was Abysmii has a giant cock. So Abysmii was like, yeah, we gotta read that one. Yeah.
I mean, that one's totally true.
Yeah.
I bought this synth off eBay, and now I wish I hadn't.
Painting
gave that one
Warhammer
a-
figures doesn't make me a fucking geek. That was another title.
I've never declined the fact that I'm a geek.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we keep running into these ones. Like, I was in an accident and cut off my foot this morning, so the painkillers are making it better.
See,
Yeah, we
that
did.
would be like a nice twist on the story. How I actually injured my foot this morning is just stupidly frustrating.
Yeah, he just kicked that synth. He's like, goddamn
Yep.
synth, and it broke his foot.
Yep.
Also
In
would have been more
revenge.
interesting. No, I just stood up and tripped over something on the ground.
A
Like
synth. He
I just
tripped
have
on.
them everywhere.
He got up off of his bed of synths, tripped on the synth, and hit his head on the synth.
Well, he tripped, and then a few months back, I tripped. My toe still hurts because it just like separated my toe from the rest of my foot. Not like separated, but like
Decapitated.
Dislodged.
Yeah, and so I just did that by walking up the stairs, and it was like a realization. Because when you're a kid, you fall down and like hurt yourself, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm mortal." And then like when you're an adult, you're a lazy person, and so just every once in a while when you get hurt, you're just like, "Oh yeah, I can die at any moment in a tragic accident."
Yep. He
Fucking
hit his
foot
toe.
injuries are the worst because they just stick with you.
He hit his toe on the staircase, ran screaming all the way back to the ranger station. Yeah. Out in the woods. Yeah, so this is by Freaky Attractions. The last story we read by him, I think I said, was I was T-boned by a truck and woke up with a Mexican girlfriend. And yeah.
That's
Okay.
Again,
Those
you
took
and I-
place so many years apart. It's not even funny.
It was a long coma.
It was a multi-part story by Freaky Attractions.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, not to be confused with I stubbed my toe on the stairs and woke up married to a lolly or dating a lolly. God damn it.
Oh my, this is not going well with the bathtub joke.
Yeah.
I'm becoming uncomfortable.
For anybody out there, LOLI stands for lesbian of low intellect. Anyway.
Anyway.
Again, Chelsea, complete adult.
Complete adult vitamins.
Chelsea is a complete person. A CP. No, Never mind. Pumpkin patch. The town I grew up in would be considered a bit country, to say the least.
The town
and
next
also
door was a little bit rock and roll, but okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yep, thank you.
Nope.
Thank you for interrupting me. Getting to my joke.
You can't say it.
There were tons of farms, cornfields, and a lot of churches. You know the type of place. It had many downsides for sure, but the most annoying thing to me was the fact the town had essentially banned Halloween. We don't do Halloween. We don't do Halloween. No Halloween. No Halloween.
We don't do Halloween. We don't do Halloween. Nobody scream.
What's this? What's this? It's nothing. Never mind.
What's this? What's this? A curtain to put it behind. Okay. Anyway. Tapestry Dave.
Tapestry Dave. And then Tapestry Dave died in
saved Halloween.
He died saving Halloween.
Tapestry Dave died and then became Oogie Boogie. That's his origin story.
Oh.
Yeah. They apparently saw it as a devil's holiday. So we weren't allowed to put out any decorations, no costumes, and there were definitely no pumpkins. What? No pumpkins? I as an Ohioan, I can't abide by this.
To be honest, it should be, unless there's like some supernatural thing where it's going to be like explained why this is so crazy. I mean, pumpkins are more of like a harvesty kind of thing, whereas I would think it would say no jack-o'-lanterns, but maybe.
Yeah.
I absolutely. Yeah, that's just hilarious. Like the idea of banning a vegetable, like no vegetables allowed. But here in Ohio, we have the Pumpkin Festival, not this year, obviously. And it's just like grotesque how much the farmers will be able to grow pumpkins, just like giant size fetish pumpkins, like pumpkins the size of people. And it's like, that isn't real. And then you touch it and you're like, that's real. That's weird.
You get a
I thought all
boner.
you guys grew was corn.
We definitely do corn, but you know, corn can only get so big, if you know what I mean. And by that I mean it can only get so big.
baby, I love your giant pumpkin, but my corn can only get so big. I mean, it's going to be a problem here.
That's a good country song. Baby,
That's the
I
most
love
popular.
pumpkins, but my corn only gets so big. In fact, pumpkin farming was practically illegal in our town just because of the association with Halloween.
Maybe if we tried black corn. Anyway, good.
I don't think you could do that.
What?
I don't think you could pass an ordinance that would outlaw growing pumpkins.
Are you a farm lawyer?
No, but I have frequented the zoning and permitting office a few times. And by a few, I mean 100.
I frequented the pumpkin law offices.
Jack-o'-lantern, Esquire. I think it would only work if everybody agreed to it, because, yeah, you can't, like, just outlaw growing one thing if it's harmless.
It does say practically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 420 blaze it. Epic weed zors. Epic weed zors Abysmii, everybody.
I can't tell if he was making a joke or not.
I meant like a consumable vegetable, but growing off of what Brandon was saying.
Abysmii,
like, you know,
you're a consumable vegetable.
I used to think the severe outlook was based on the area's strong religious influence, but it turns out there was much more to the story than I ever knew.
Ooh, a Wendigo.
As a youngster, I was always intrigued by Halloween. I constantly asked adults what the holiday was like and why we didn't celebrate it, to which they always responded with nervous silence or a change of subject. Halloween was like a bad word in my hometown.
Are these people Jehovah's Witnesses?
Maybe.
Maybe it's just where DP grew up in that school. Then last year, an old man, who was said to be the town's oldest resident, was asked to come to our school and speak to the students about the history of the town. And listen, he knew all about leg hair and cockroaches.
That's my man Corn Pop.
My man Corn Pop went up. Wait, no, was Corn Pop his enemy or his buddy? I don't know.
No, he was friends with... he's his running mate.
Oh.
Yeah, Joe Biden is his running mate, Corn Pop. No, you picked Kamala Harris.
Corn Pop?
Corn Pop Harris, yes.
Yeah. The Joe Biden lore is getting hard to keep track of. It's like fucking, like a 500 installment manga or something.
Well, you also have to read, you have to also get on the laptop.
Mm-hmm. Yes. He had literally lived there since World War I. Yep. And was one of the last surviving people in general from that era. Oh, he was a general, too.
So this probably, I don't know, this could be recent, but I'm guessing it's maybe a couple decades ago when this is taking place.
Was World War I fought against the pumpkin people? Because that would explain it easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Also,
No,
pumpkin people might sound racist. Never mind.
Pumpkin people? How's that racist?
I don't know. Somebody out there will find a way.
During his speech, he would lose his train of thought repeatedly and just gaze at the audience with those piercing, light blue eyes. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. This is... Oh my god, this is crazy. It may just...
Wait a minute, he hates pumpkins because they're orange. Orange fruit bad.
Oh, man.
It's not fruit, it's a squash.
Well, we've called it a vegetable and a fruit. It's one of the two. Certainly not a gourd.
It has seeds in it.
Grows on a vine, but in a
so do we.
Yeah, hey. Yeah, that's a good point.
They're on vines?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? Trump is kind of like wrinkly like a pumpkin as well.
Mm.
And he's fat.
He's also fat. I thought that went without saying.
So,
but yes.
Sorry, rotund.
He's obsessed with earning awards.
Just like a prized pumpkin. It may have just been nerves from the large crowds, but I felt something was off about him. No one seemed to notice, though.
It could be that he was alive for, he's been there since World War I and is fantastically old.
He had a live shell round in his forehead. Something was off about him.
Yeah, an unexploded ordnance.
Yes. He looked like the moon from that old-timey movie. He had it sticking out of his eye socket.
Listen, I don't trust him. I call him Unexploded Ordnance Joe.
You can't go out on Halloween night when the Krauts look at you.
Mm-hmm.
I was there in the trenches of 18 for
18 for Furrow.
The teachers eventually opened up the floor for questions from the audience, so that's not good.
Yeah, don't open up the floor. What the fuck? People are standing on
They
there.
dump the kids down into the pumpkin vats where they throw all the pumpkins.
Yes.
Into the great furnace. All the other kids asked him things like, what did the first TV look like? And how did you ever live without GPS? Okay, so maybe this is modern day. My question was very different, and I think I caught him off guard. I simply asked the question, why our town was so afraid of Halloween. Oh. Immigrants! Mm-hmm. They brought the pumpkins over from the underground, the mole people.
Underground pumpkins. I guess the precursor to Smashing Pumpkins?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we asked him why our town was afraid of Halloween, and he said, listen, come on, man. Why do you want to ask me this question? You don't want to talk about the issues. He froze up on stage for a moment, and his eyes widened as the room went silent. The teacher closed the floor back up. No, the teacher angrily approached me and took the microphone away, stating that Halloween was inappropriate to be talking about in school, DP. I was pretty annoyed at being censored, but it seemed like most of the adults in the audience were on the teacher's side. So I walked back to my chair, defeated. A little Antifa is born.
You know what? Maybe Smashing Pumpkins is like a popular band in this town. Like, we can get behind their Christian messaging. Yeah, very wholesome. We like this.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a Vatican slave. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, they're a bunch of Protestants they really hate. Anyway, point is, our principal stepped out onto the stage and announced that we were out of time and began to guide the old man away. His whole way off the stage, though, he just kept looking back at me. The principal approached me in the hallway afterwards and said that if I ever brought up Halloween in school again like that, I would surely be suspended.
I pointed at him and said, you just brought up Halloween. He gasped and suspended himself.
He started flying backwards out the school.
He just puts his hands up and like starts clawing at his face. He's like, my principal powers! And then his suit just falls off and it just turns into kid's clothes with a backpack on.
Yes. And the kid now is the principal and he looks down, he's wearing a little suit and tie. No!
And then the kid, the kid who was the principal pats himself and he's like, the curse has been lifted.
Good luck, other kid. What is this lore we've created?
I don't know.
This literally all happened to Joe Biden, by the way.
One of us is tired, another one of us is on painkillers, and the third is Slimebeast.
Which is like
That's
being
how we come
both.
up with this lore.
Alright, well, this is me.
Yeah.
Fucking typical. Before I could even respond, the school bell rang. The bell gave out a warning, and I didn't think I'd make it on time. And kids began darting off in different directions. I had to... I try not to interrupt too much, but I always do. I just picture them all running in absolute different directions into walls and shit. I had to go turn in an assignment before I left, so by the time I got out to the front of campus, pretty much everyone was already gone. I headed over to the bike rack to start riding home when the old man from the stage approached me from around the side of the building. He put his hands on his shoulders and smelled my hair. It is Biden.
I'm trying to figure, when they say campus, I don't think of using the term campus to describe an elementary school. So
No.
This doesn't sound rural. I don't think a rural area would use the term campus for an elementary school. It's a nitpick. I just think it just pops out in my head.
Yeah, it's more of like the author bleeding through the narrator, and it is kind of strange because it loses a little bit of characterization.
Can I tell you guys a quick story?
No.
Yeah.
Who do I listen to? So yeah, I was in like 3rd grade, okay? Everybody's going to get on the bus, right? And this kid comes up behind me and he puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, "Yo, Mrs. Such and Such wanted to talk to you." And I can't remember the teacher's name. Mrs. Such and Such, wanted to talk to you before you left class. So I was like, oh shit. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know what's going on. I go back into the school, right? It's weird to be in a school by yourself, like when you're a kid. Because it's like everything's dead and quiet and like weird. And like, even though there are adults in the rooms, it's like, whoa, I shouldn't be here. So I go walking up the stairs, slip and fall, and catch my trapper keeper, the corner of the trapper keeper, in the middle of my throat.
Ooh.
Just basically stab myself in the windpipe. So I'm on the staircase, gasping for air, like crawling along the stairs, like, like that,
Yeah.
Get up the stairs, catch my breath, sort of get better. I have, some pain, but it's, I can breathe, I can walk, stuff like that. And, of course, walk to the teacher's room, to the classroom, because that's what I was told to do. Get in there, and I say to the teacher, I said, "You wanted to, talk to me?" The teacher looks up at me and she goes, "No, why?" Kid fucking lied.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, kid fucking lied to make me miss the bus. And I fucking stabbed myself in the fucking throat. So anyway, he's dead now, but yeah.
I saw to it.
Listen, the opioid epidemic is, it's had some upsides.
Mm-hmm. The opioid epidemic, which is what I call my fists, opioid epidemic. I got it tattooed across my knuckles.
I didn't get poetic justice because I didn't make him miss the bus, but the bus sure didn't miss him, I tell you.
Yep, T-boned him. Anyway, I wonder where he is now.
Right through his house.
It was a succubus. A 3rd grade succubus. It was a mess. Don't want to talk about it.
Oh no!
It was shaped like a bathtub.
Oh no!
Elias, I want you to just censor half of this fucking episode. I don't care which one at this point. Is to break ever so slightly. Story's fine so far. Little nitpicks in there, but competently written.
I'm sorry, I have to make a complaint here. We shouldn't be breaking right now. We should be paying attention to the story. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah, stop. Let's focus, Abysmii. Okay, let's talk about the story at hand. So I would say that there's a lot of good setup here, a lot of good lore building.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that it's going in an interesting direction, because it's feeling like this is a really small town with like a really weird set of ideas, and I hope that it gets developed on.
Well, the story title is Pumpkin Patch, so I'm figuring something happened either at the Pumpkin Patch or there's something that replaced the Pumpkin Patch, like maybe they had to... I don't know why I'm getting ahead of the story. Anyway.
He clutched on my shirt trying to tell me something, but before he could get it out, two teachers...
Before he could get it out!
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Okay, the funniness is over. There will be no more sexually suggestive stuff in the sentence. Go ahead.
I thought you were making fun of the fact that I'm dyslexic.
No.
And we're talking about someone trying to say words, and I'm having trouble with it.
No, it was because before he could get it out, you see? You get the... Anyway, continue. Nothing will make me laugh from here forward, I swear.
God damn it.
Two teachers came and grabbed him from behind.
From behind?
In the butt. Or, as they call it around here,
reading a story about probably a fucking elementary school kid, Slimebeast, but you don't have to act like one.
Yeah, I do. Why would this episode be different from every other one we've recorded?
They began to guide him away towards a van, but before he left, he was able to mutter out two ominous words. Pumpkin patch!
If you had a van and you had to lure in elderly men, what would you write on the side instead of free candy?
Free Medicare?
Obamacare enrollment inside.
Get your government hands off my Medicare. Meow. Bark, bark. Meow, bark, bark.
Not having any idea what he meant by pumpkin patch, I started doing research on what he could have been talking about.
What is a pumpkin patch?
What? Is that like a patch of a pumpkin you put on your sweater? There wasn't much information about it on the internet. Bullshit? Unless you're in some weird, like, closed intranet system in the town, you can't.
Maybe this was the 80s?
The actual internet.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, dude.
It's just like how China censors everything, but instead it's just censoring all information about pumpkins.
Yes.
So I went to the local library and started digging through old newspaper articles.
Here's what I found out about pumpkin patches on the dark web.
On the orange web.
I looked for local stories about pumpkin patches on Halloween or anything related to that, but found nothing. However, I did come across a story about the old man who had visited my school. Apparently his younger brother had gone missing when he was a child, and despite the search efforts of the townspeople, he was never found again.
Bum, bum, bum. They went to hollow out a pumpkin to make a jack-o'-lantern, and they found his head inside. While it was sad, the story didn't seem to lead me anywhere at first, until I dug a little deeper into the incident itself. It turns out the last place his brother had been seen before disappearing was around a place called Willow Farms on the far end of town. I started to wonder if there was a pumpkin patch at that farm, and decided to ride my bike over the next day to check it out. And I read really slow so you could interrupt me, but nobody did it.
Yep, we didn't.
No.
It was an old...
Oh, you blew the fucking metal?
It was an old, kind of rundown place with weeping willows growing everywhere across the property. I strolled onto the farm, acting like what up I got a big cog, acting like I was looking to buy fresh vegetables. A jockish teenage farm boy sat up on the porch with a shotgun at his side, barely even acknowledging me. He actually seemed like he was going in and out of sleep, which enabled me to sneak off and look around the rest of the farm.
There were several moonshine bottles or jugs at his feet.
Yep. All of them full of pee.
That seems very aggressive to be on a porch with a shotgun on a farm that's just farming.
Selling vegetables or whatever.
Yeah, current year.
What about sneaking around the farm where you just saw somebody with a fucking shotgun?
Yeah, problem number 2. Oh, they're armed and possibly dangerous. About 45 minutes of not finding any pumpkins, I started getting frustrated and decided to head home. It was dark at that point, and the farm shined with the glare from a full moon above. I know what you mean. I don't know if I would have written it that way, though. Shined with a glare? I don't know. I hopped on my bike and started riding and was nearly off the property when I witnessed in the distance the teen dragging a burlap sack and shovel out into the woods behind the farm. I hastily abandoned my bike in the bushes and started following him from a distance.
Maybe that's a pumpkin sack.
I like the idea that, pumpkin, like roasted pumpkin seeds are contraband. What are you doing with them pumpkin seeds, child?
These aren't pumpkin seeds. These are special seasonal corn seeds. Oh, all right. Wait a minute.
Corn seeds. Tarnation.
Corn seeds? You mean corn?
Corn don't have seeds.
No.
Corn is corn seed.
No. This is corn pop. Oh, well, that's awesome.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Good old corn pop.
Good old corn pop.
Up next,
I gotta have my pops.
Up next on Channel 5, local news. Are your children doing pump? Kids are calling it pumping.
Pumping.
Kids are calling it cock pumps.
God damn it. I crept past the tree line and continued to watch as the farm boy pulled the sack further and further out into the woods. If this is anything but a dead body, I'll give credit to the author, but if it's a dead body, I'm gonna shit myself. He eventually disappeared into a cluster of trees through an old iron gate and into a wooded, fenced-in area. Making my way around the side of it, I peered over the fence through the trees. There was a little area. Oh wait, no. The little area was filled with these rows of pumpkins. They were strange looking, too. Large, deformed. You ever meet a girl with large, deformed pumpkins? And almost seeming as if they were bursting out from the dirt.
Yeah, that comports with what I was saying about the crazy pumpkin contest.
Pumpkin Comcast.
The farm boy laid down the bag and began to aggressively into an empty plot at the end of the road. He kept looking down at his watch constantly and then looking up at the full moon. Finally, the hole was big enough to fit the sack inside, and he started dragging it in.
Mm-hmm. Hey, baby, why don't you come over here and drag your sack into my hole? It's big enough. Oh, how appealing. What a silver tongue.
That was sublimely unsexy.
Sublimely unsexy is my Sublime cover band.
Hey, baby, come drag the sack into my hole. No, I'm alright.
Want to see my deformed pumpkins? They look like they're jutting out of dirt.
They're banned in 3 states. The sound of a twig snapping came from the other end of the clearing. The farm boy looked up and saw a decrepit old man with overalls and a long gray beard standing just beyond the pumpkins. He was hunched all the way over, and his face had an unsettling look of hollow joy. The thing that really stood out to me about him was his eyes, though. They were that same piercing light blue that the old man talking at my school had.
Okay. When it says he's bent all the way over, I like to picture that, like, backward, the other way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I lost track of time, the boy said in a fearful voice.
The boy sounded like an old man for some reason.
It's me, young boy. Hello, everybody. The man didn't respond. He just stared ominously as he began slowly approaching the hole and angry.
God damn it.
The farm boy...
Just Joe Biden is a superhero, and it's just like Joe Biden joined by his sidekick, young boy.
I'm young compared to him, you see.
And his butler, Corn Pop.
God damn it. The farm boy...
What superpowers do you have, sir?
He can sniff you right up his nose. The farm boy, he Thanos snaps you and then inhales the dust, I guess. The farm boy quickly tossed the sack inside and started running. The old man approached the bag, running his fingers along the tops of the pumpkins as he hobbled towards it.
So, did it reveal that it was full of pumpkins before this?
No.
Because that's a reveal, and I think it's missing
it's not
prior
revealed
reveal.
It's not revealed yet. He tossed the sack inside the hole, but the old man is running his fingers along the existing pumpkins as he walks over.
Oh.
So we haven't seen what's in it yet. I'm assuming dead body.
Oh, there's pumpkins in the clearing. Sorry. Okay. Yeah,
yes.
I forgot that. Okay, sorry.
Which are made of humans.
Right.
Yes. Human pumpkins. Personkins? What? Oh my god. What do you call yourself if you identify yourself as a pumpkin? Like, you're like...
Pumpkin.
Yeah. Pumpkin. Pumpkinkin? In a strange, unexpected burst of energy, he grabbed this bulging piece from one of the pumpkins and tore it off, voraciously biting into it. So he's a killer clown from outer space.
Pumpkin!
This tastes like pumpkin.
Charizard.
What?
I don't know, fucking Hillary's in the background.
Oh.
I should have been president.
Pupcone go to the polls.
Yeah.
The man then leaned over and pulled up the top bag, untying it and checking inside. Pleased, he reached into his pockets, pulling out a handful of powder and beginning to draw a circle in the dirt around the hole.
He definitely didn't sniff a bunch of it first.
Nope,
he didn't do that.
Nope.
Whoever said that he did that, that's a Russian disinformation campaign. He then drew out these strange symbols in front of it and pulled out a knife from his back pocket. Then he sliced his hand and dripped the blood along the top of the bag, causing steam to slowly rise. It began to jolt around as if someone was inside, was struggling.
Okay, well,
now I gotta shit myself.
Well, it wasn't a dead body. We don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Personal preference aside, this isn't a bad story. It's definitely spooky and, Halloween appropriate.
I think it needs a hook at the end because as we discussed with the wine story where it was like bones of the earth and shit like that, when you know that it's made of people twist right away, or if you expect it's made of people, that, is like, meh. So we need something at the end where it's like, it turns out it wasn't really a person, or it turns out, some other twist happens or something. We need like a little, cause, something being made of people isn't enough anymore, cause it's been done so much in everything. It could still be done effectively. It's just a matter of it's not enough for a stinger anymore.
And I do feel there's a missed opportunity here for, obviously, small town covering up, terrible secret, not new whatsoever. But I guess I want it to be, I don't know what I want exactly. I just don't want it to be, there's a blood ritual at night on a full moon in a hidden pumpkin patch. Like you said, it's kind of been done before a bit too much. And that can take a story that is perfectly competently written and just kind of make you go, okay.
I would be down with this if it turned out at the end that all the people in the town were grown from pumpkins. So when they say, when you don't eat pumpkins, you don't carve pumpkins, stuff like that, you say, oh, it's because that's you. Like, it'd be weird, it'd be creepy.
I mean, I think that had we known that this was a thing made out of person's story. If we knew that this was a Soylent Green story, we wouldn't have read it, right?
Probably not. If the title was, I found a secret pumpkin patch, where people go missing and pumpkins are grown or something like that, we would have known right away and we'd be like, nah.
My town doesn't grow pumpkins like other towns.
Yeah. Or every time someone in my town dies, a new pumpkin grows.
God. All I could do was cover my mouth and try not to breathe too loud. After a few moments, the bag stopped moving, and the man looked up at the sky, letting out this unbelievably demonic roar. Just too much. Not necessary. He then turned and left through the trees the same way he'd come.
Once I was sure he had left, I crept through the gate and went in to check inside the bag. I pulled it open and witnessed to my horror the body of a young girl named Kaylee McDonald, who had gone missing from my school a few weeks earlier. Old McDonald on a farm. Oh God, hell no.
Old McDonald had a farm. He planted small girls.
With a Kaylee here and a Karen there. Here a Sarah, there a Jane, everywhere. Everywhere a Rebecca, I don't know. Who had gone missing from my school a few weeks earlier. She didn't appear to be breathing. And her skin was covered with these strange orange lesions. Orange lesions, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck off. Fuck off, you critical bitch. Almost appearing... Say what?
Cat is not happy with this story.
No.
Cat feels the same way we do.
Almost appearing like the outer skin of a pumpkin. Bum, bum, bum. As I gazed around at the rest of the clearing, I began to realize what should have been obvious all along and was to everyone reading this, including us. All of the pumpkins in that pumpkin patch resembled the shape of humans. Wait. What? Like standing there? Or?
In various states of undress and debauchery.
Each with bulges where arms and legs and a head would be. So this is Steven Universe. I don't know if anybody will get that, but. Yeah, this is literally person-shaped pumpkins. Anyway.
I was then startled, but the sound of a shotgun cocking behind me. I turned back and saw the farm boy aiming right at my chest. Did you see it?
Nope.
He whispered. Did it see you? He whispered sternly. I shook my head no, and he sighed with relief, dropping his shovel to the side.
Wait, he was carrying... But I thought he had a shotgun cocked at you. He also has the shovel?
No, he also has the shovel cocked at you.
The shotgun fires shovels. It's sticking out of the barrel.
Oh.
It's a shuttlecock.
Yeah. Draw a Halloween-themed G.I. Joe with a shotgun that shoots shovels. I don't know.
Oh, God, that's going to be a weird one.
You don't know how lucky you are, he said as he signaled to start walking. He followed me out of the woods and back towards my bike at the front of the property. I'm assuming that must be how he found out I was there.
With his shotgun still aimed at me, he signaled to leave, but said that if I ever talked about this to anyone, that he would be the least of my worries. Terrified, I thanked him and rode off. After weeks of trying to keep it a secret, though, I couldn't last any longer. I told my parents about it, who informed the police. They told us they would investigate it, but that we should keep quiet for our safety. The problem was months went by, and that investigation never happened.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a big question. Is this a story, like a hidden scandal that everyone is in on? Because they're like, oh, we don't talk about pumpkins around here. None of that devil worship.
Nope.
And also, we're all in on the fact that we are killing people and turning them into pumpkins. This conspiracy makes no sense.
I thought you were going to say, or is it just that they didn't believe this kid's stupid story?
I was out and there was pumpkins, and then a kid with a shotgun was like, get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the implication, I don't know how far the conspiracy goes, but saying that the police never investigated it makes it, pretty clear that the police are in on it at like a government level. I don't know if the parents are in on it.
Is this trying to be Baraska?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
The old man was sleeping with a pumpkin.
the deep state, I swear to God, I'm talking about Pumpkingate. The deep state is taking our children and turning them into pumpkins.
Mm-hmm. Now, Joe O'Lantern doesn't want to address this.
Wait, so they're taking kids and turning them into pumpkins.
And then they're going to turn me into a pumpkin. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And then they keep those pumpkins hidden from everybody, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
what purpose does that serve?
There's many questions here. This isn't a terrible story.
No.
It's just, it's a story with a lot of questions, and maybe if there was a part 2, maybe we'd find out. I don't know. But, my biggest question is, why can't they talk about Halloween or grow pumpkins? Because, out in the field, there's a demon who turns people into pumpkins and eats them. But why does that affect the greater town? Like,
because
does the demon specifically not want anyone else to enjoy them, or like?
Yeah, the implication is if anyone talked about Halloween, then people would want pumpkins for jack-o'-lanterns and stuff. So if they went to go look for pumpkins, they would find the demon who's turning people into pumpkins. But that doesn't explain why a demon would turn people into pumpkins and then hide. Like, why? It's kind of putting the cart before the horse, I guess. Like, why is it? Why does the demon have to turn them into pumpkins? And does this demon have some hold over the town so they're all like, just let him do his thing, and it'll only take one child a year or something?
Well, to be fair, it's like, why would anything do anything? Like, why would a demon do anything at all? Why is it like, draw a star in a circle on the floor for him to come? Like, why a star? Why a circle?
Yeah, but no one would... But no one ever says stars aren't allowed. Like, it's just a geometric.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like...
What are those in the sky? Nothing. Look down.
Yeah, don't talk about them. It's different when, like, we're sacrificing stuff to the demon, and, no one goes to Sacrifice Gulch. That's one thing. But the complete censorship and redaction of Halloween and pumpkins is so overt.
Don't you ever look at the stars, and don't you ever wander around Dead Kid in the Bag Gulch? I can't tell you why. Sorry.
The Bag Gulch.
It's just like, I get the...
No, they all have to wear giant brimmed straw hats. That way they can't see the sky above them.
Yes.
Why do we have to wear these straw hats at night? We don't need to keep the sun out of our... Don't you dare question this.
The sun? Well, that's just a star. You little bastard, you've been looking at the sun.
They censor all Disney movies. When you wish upon a redacted.
Yes.
This conspiracy makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah, it feels like they tried to shove Halloween into the typical sacrifice things to a demon, small town tragedy secret thing, but it doesn't make sense as the way it's set up. Like,
I mean, you know, I can get on board with the idea that there's something horrible going on, and so they don't want anyone to mention or participate in anything even remotely related to the horrible thing. But this is like a scenario where it's like a guy fucking around in the woods out in the middle of nowhere, so it's like, how would that affect, whatever.
I could see, like one family has controlled all the pumpkins in our town and no one else is ever allowed to grow them. And, and I don't know why, because I really want to be a pumpkin farmer or some shit.
The pumpkin robber barons.
Pumpkinopoly.
Well, Jimmy, have you ever heard of Big Pumpkin? Anyway.
Big Pumpkin's edging on Little Pumpkin.
So, I guess we should probably finish the story since we're critiquing it so much. Yeah. Then one day, we saw Kelly McDonald mom at the grocery store. That's supposed to be Kelly McDonald's mom, but Kelly McDonald mom. She looked like an empty shell of a pumpkin, of a person.
She looked like the empty pumpkin seed shells. I mean, wait, what? Sorry, no, redact that.
A woman with no reason to go on a pumpkin patch. No, to go on. This was my breaking point. I couldn't keep quiet any longer. Whatever secret the town was protecting, it wasn't worse than this. It's a demon eating people. That was when I decided to make this story. I still wanted to keep my identity secret, and I don't want to release any more details until I know I can guarantee my family's, plural, safety.
Whoops. Aren't you like a young person?
We don't know. We really don't know, we know they're still in school, but what year? They ride a bike.
I got the impression it was young.
Me too, but I don't mind that stories are lacking in certain details to kind of keep a slight mystery about it, to let you kind of plug in some ideas and impressions of your own. But I feel like we have just a lack of background on a few things.
A lackground, if you will.
A lackground. I don't know.
Yeah.
If the police are in on it, and the town is in on it, and all the adults are in on it, to a certain extent, you wonder why there are missing child reports, and, things like that in the first place. Yeah. But, why wouldn't it just be like, where's Kelly? And they'd just be like, out of state. By the way, her name was...
We looked into it, and we found no trace. It's horrible, sorry. It's easier just to fake a false report.
By the way, I believe her name changed. Yeah, her name was originally Kaylee, and then it's Kelly.
Oops.
So, I do... There's also the element of, what's going on with the generals or whoever it was' sibling, and then they end up disappearing, and it's like they got pumpkinized, and it's like, okay, well, they're trying to give you these details, you were saying, Slimebeast, okay, but anything could be anything. Yeah, that's always the case, but there needs to be some sort of arc. There needs to be some sort of arc where you get questions and then a certain amount of answers, and we don't need an answer on everything, but we do have to get something satisfactory, and I don't know that we're getting that.
Did the demon get piercing blue eyes because he ate the dude's brother? Is that the dude's brother? What was the point of all of that? Was it just to have some old person going, look out, don't go to, what do we call it?
Dead kid in a bag gulch?
Even though now that seems like it may be more difficult to accomplish than I thought. This morning there was a knock on my door and something horrific was left on the steps outside. It was a pumpkin resembling the terrified face of the farm boy with the words, "You're next," carved onto the side. Why and to what end and for what purpose?
Maybe there is something we missed along the way, because we do jerk off a lot, and we do say a lot of stupid shit, and I tend to possibly interrupt occasionally.
Really?
So, I don't know.
I don't.
But here's the thing.
Go ahead. I don't think we missed anything, and I guess I guess the implication is one kid always discovers the secret every year, and they're the one that gets sacrificed. But the mechanisms of the horror in this are so, they just feel backwards. Again, they feel like something is out of order, but done just to the effect of spooky demon pumpkin killer, man.
Spooky demon pumpkin killer.
Demon pumpkin killer, yep.
I don't know.
Well, is the old man in the field the same old man? I mean, we don't even know that for sure. Like we can't even discount that, because it's like, he was bent all the way over and had a big bushy beard. Is like, well, that would seem to be a different guy, but we don't know if the guy from before was bent over with a bushy beard or not. So. There's
too many holes. There's too many places left for our imagination. I don't even know if that was the intention. I don't want to speak for the author.
Too many holes?
Too many holes. Is not our problem. I don't know. Like, I would compare it to how Lovecraft never has to describe anything except how scary it is, but still gives you enough of, there was a thing, I found it here, it was really terrifying. And even though there's, little to no actual description, you still have an idea of what you're dealing with. This is just, what? How? Why?
I would say to anybody, like, maybe some constructive thoughts about it is, this is yet another case where, I've said this multiple times and it's pretty boring, where either make it make logical sense, or, do something batshit crazy. Because this is like hovering between the two, where it's like you feel like it should make sense, but it doesn't, and it's not crazy enough where you're like, whoa, that was a weird ride. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that was Pumpkin Patch by Freaky Attractions.
Like, if you went to the pumpkin patch and you saw all these giant pumpkins in the patch, and you could still have the thing where it's made of people and have them throw the bag in there and everything, but as get rid of the old man, get rid of the demon thing, and have it just be that, when the kid is running out of the pumpkin patch because he found the dead body, he's like jostling the large pumpkins as he goes by them, and inside he hears screaming. Like, just muffled screaming. Some weird thing where you're like, okay, this doesn't have to make sense because that's off the rails batshit crazy. Like, whatever.
Or have a serial killer who's hiding body parts of his victims in pumpkins. I don't know. Something crazy.
They call him the pumpkin body part hiding killer. They're trying to think of something better.
Work in progress.
We're trying to make this work when, the skeleton of the story is just
upside down.
A Soylent Green story.
Yeah.
The Jack Skellington of the story, if you will.
Hey. Yeah.
So if you want to enter our contest to write a Halloween story, write in the comments below, and you'll find the rules in the description. Abysmii, get on that.
All right.
Yep. In our Halloween contest, where if you win, we'll turn you into a pumpkin.
You have 3 days. Hurry up.
What are the rules? We're not telling you. What do I have to write?
We're not telling you.
Said it's writing.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
What's the prize? You'll find out if you win.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a winner,
Let's just say the prize will be delivered personally.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Are you tired of living in a town with no Halloween? No pumpkins? No Jack Skellingtons? Come on down to Old Man Pumpkin Patch's Old Man Pumpkin Patch, where we've got a dilly of a zinger of a pumpkin just for you! Green pumpkins, white pumpkins, yellow pumpkins. The only kind of pumpkin we don't carry is orange pumpkins. Why? Because I'm crazy! So come on down to Old Pumpkin's Man Patch, right off Route 25 next to Dead Kid in a Bag Gulch. Bring the kids, bring the wife, leave the kids, tell your wife they ran away. Yeah, I don't know what happened, babe. They just kind of got away from me. The government told me I have to warn everybody not to step in the many person-sized holes in the ground all over the pumpkin patch. They're hidden here and there in the tall weeds and behind trees and just out in the middle of pathways. Whatever. Why are those holes there? Who dug them? I don't fucking know. I'm crazy old pumpkin patch man. Come on down on October 31st and use the special password for 25% off your pumpkin. Now look at this pumpkin I got right here. Ooh, it's a knobby one. Oh, it's got all knobs all over it. Look at them knobs. I like to fiddle with them. I like to run my bony old man fingers over them. Flick them with my yellowed, crusty fingernails. That's a good pumpkin. Delicious. You know what they say. Spend all day at Crazy Old Pumpkin Man's Pumpkin Man Patch and Brewery. Have the little ones toddle off into the field, picking their own pumpkins with razor-sharp thorns, while you sit beside the lake and sip one of our custom beers. We have a stout lager made from a stout lodger named Stuart Lager. Made in-house by my wife, crazy old lady wine cellar person. I'm old man Pumpkin Patch, and I'm here to sell you your own children in pumpkin form. Come on by today. Up next on Channel News at 5, kids are calling it pumping.
You know what's pretty metal?
Gold is a pretty metal.
It is a precious pretty metal. And you can find it with a metal detector. Have you guys ever used a metal detector?
No.
I owned a metal detector when I was a kid, but I never used it because, what, in the yard? What the fuck?
Out in the woods.
Why did I have a metal detector? What the fuck?
Okay, so here's an interesting. So we have the Creepypasta metal detector stories on YouTube.com/Creepypasta, which is a set of little ash can stories that I'm pretty happy with. It's kind of like arranged like a Reddit post, like, "Hey guys, fucking it's Reddit. You want to tell me a thing?" And then I tell you the things. But instead of it being a robotic voice, it's actual voice actors.
Whoa.
Can you believe that?
Voice actors and me.
Yes, precisely. But no, we did that. We wrote those stories and posted them and did a bunch of cool stuff, so please go check that out. But also today, just coincidentally, as we're driving through the neighborhood and I'm going home, I see someone in their front porch, a person I've never seen before, in front of their house, sitting in one of those like collapsible metal chairs with a metal detector in their hand, and they're just detecting the metal of their chair, going back and forth. And like maybe I just like caught them at that moment testing it out, but I think that they were there for a while.
It's the small things in life.
Yeah, maybe there's somebody like Abysmii, but they can't afford a synth, so they got the metal detector. They just sweep it back and forth. Woo, woo, woo.
Mama, get out here and get that recording device. This one's a banger.
This one's a banger.
I think he was just confused as to like, man, where's this like beeping coming from?
Hot damn, this thing's beep.
Maybe he was blind and he just successfully found his way back to the chair. That's how he does it.
Maybe. Anyway, go check out the video.
Yeah, go check out youtube.com/Creepypasta in general.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And listen to things and click on things and leave comments and do all of those things because they do help. And do that here too.
Listen.
Just pay attention to us.
Yeah, go to youtube.com/Creepypasta, subscribe, watch all the videos, make a second account, subscribe again, watch all the videos again.
No.
Make a third account, subscribe again.
Don't do that.
Why not?
Because they will, they'll hear this and then they will, ban us for fucking sock puppeting.
Oh yeah. YouTube will get right off their asses and take action on something. Sure.
Hey, when it comes to shadow banning and just deleting shit, they have no problem doing that.
Yeah, they've been doing that a lot recently. It's interesting.
Not always of the right things, but they do it.
Okay, everybody out there, make a new Google account. Make a new account with that. Subscribe to that. Make a new Google account.
Please go make a new Google Plus account.
Add me on Quibi, or I don't know what is Quibi. I don't know.
Oh, Quibi.
Quibi?
It's defunct. That's what it is.
But you know it isn't defunct.
Quibi.com/Creepypasta.
Oh shit.